After a brief moment, she carries on. But the furless wolves, those are the worst. They live alone, but are as dangerous as an entire group. Once you find one, you can't run away from it. You can't scare it off if it's not bleeding. You must stay brave, especially when it charges at you. It's going to jump, oh, this high. She raises her hand to her neck. Duck beneath it as quickly as you can. Okay. Duck beneath furless wolf. Alright, that's all I need to know. Now, do I have time to get to... I do. Hallersdale, I could stay for free. So I'm gonna do just that. And tomorrow morning, we can try this again. Alright, let's make our way in. Go to the cairn. The distant roars get louder as you ride forward, and is quickly followed by obnoxious screeching of runners. You notice the sounds of breaking branches and of powerful paws trampling the soil, with shouts of anger and fear. Interesting. If they're dealing with something, they probably will know I'm coming. Let's follow the sounds. Tall trees cover you with shadows. You're forced to get on your boots, to move beneath a few of the fallen boughs. Soon, you reach a few shrubs at the edge of the fighting ground and tether your mount nearby. You count 6 birds spread around the dry glade. They're as tall as your palfrey, with pointy, curved beaks and tiny wings. Their feathers are green, blue, and white. The saurian, surrounded by the predators, looks like it could break their necks with just a breath. Matches your height, but it's as wide as it is tall, and as long as a house, even without its long tail. It's covered with firm plates, aligned in horizontal rows down the entire shell, and its head resembles a horned helmet. On its sides are 2 rows of regular spikes, and each of them longer than your forearm. The creature swings its tail left and right, scaring off the runners with a massive club at its end. Surely some bird beaks won't get through the dragon's scoots. Scoots? Its skin. Or shells? Scales. I'm guessing that's what scoots means. By the monster's side, you notice it's descended, gurgling in fear, too small and weak to protect itself. Oh, that's sad. The runners don't have to rely on their muscles. They're fast, nimble, and keep their distance easily. The cautious shouts and disorienting movements force their victims to walk in place, swinging the tree-breaking weapon to no avail. If the predators make a mistake, the dragon will crush one of them, scaring the flock away. Otherwise, the saurian will break the neck of its child with a single wrong step. And when the bird spots you, and shocked, starts to flap its wings and scoff. And the church will rejoice at the sight of a dead dragon. I scare away the birds. Oh, we see this, the bird is the saurian? It's not the runners, unless the runners are the birds? Alright, well, the United Church isn't here. Hold on. Journal. Bestiary. Runners. Okay, runners are the birds. Yeah. Just have to distract the birds. I'll sweat off my back. The axe in your hand, you jump out the shrubs, shouting at the nearest 2 runners. In return, they bow to you, raising their voices, then straighten up, shaking their colorful heads. Despite their display, they step back, not sure what's happening. You swing your weapon, making yourself look as wide as you can. The birds start to regroup, allowing the roaring giant to get closer to them. After the first bird flees into the trees, the others follow. The winner is still swinging its tail, observing you, but sparing you the further noise. The little dragon slips away and imitates the movements of its parent, though if anything, it looks more like a play. Alright, well, probably shouldn't have done that, because now it's just us. Hopefully they'll just let us go. Leave Magenta away, step on a stump, and climb into the saddle. And behind you comes a triumphant roar. Glad I just saved the dragon. Just doing my work. Ones are a bigger threat to travelers. But I couldn't steal that creature. Once your dragon gets older, it maybe turn into a few nice pile of coins. I mean, that may be true, but it just doesn't seem right. A couple of slugs are crawling up and down the car, now aware of the rook that's circling around the meadow. Okay, Lumberjack Hamlet. Abdomen. Are you kidding me? Aim for spider's abdomen. Abdomen. Nah. Fine. We're in a different part of the forest. East. We're over here now. Magenta trots forward, keeping its eyes on the pond. When one of the logs breaks on the hooves, you let go of the reins and land on the rotten wood. While your palfrey squeals in either pain or surprise, falling on its side, panically tries to get up. Broken leg. The fear whispers in your ear. It won't ever heal itself, and you're not going to find a mage in the middle of nowhere, especially not a horse healer. Oh no. Magenta. I'll wait and get back on my feet. Sour relief, Magenta walks in place, afraid and angry, but of healthy shell. Some of your belongings are spread around, but they're alright too. Oh. Thank goodness. The beast violently swishes its tail as if to murder any fly on its way. Stamps with the hind leg, the sound of the crushed wood echoes through the water. It tosses its head, looks around, and snorts. Its ears are pinned back. Calm it down. The sound of my voice. Relax, Magenta, everything's fine. I just pet its head. I let it smell my flask of chamomile oil. Do I have that? Sure. You swing it in the air, Magenta tosses its head away. Pay no attention to the scent. Okay. Well. I guess I'll use my voice. It shakes its head and takes a step toward you. You can pet its head. You reach out with an open hand, but it tosses its head away, and at least it didn't bite you. You show it my hands. Spares you a glance, another one, and it observes your movements. As you freeze with your hands raised, Magenta makes a slight turn, trusting you won't attack it as it seeks threats behind it. Its ears are still pointing backward, or pinned up, and it's listening. Okay, what if I pet its head now? Okay, ask it to lower its head. Keeps looking around, too afraid to pay you any attention. Consider grabbing the reins and forcing your palfrey to obey you, but it could ruin its trust completely. Okay, well, let's give it time to look around then. Step away when you have to close to a panic attack. You move your hands, hoping to draw its attention. Okay. You want the chamomile oil then? I'm not sure what to do here. Stay calm, breathe deeply. Measure each breath, straighten up, put a gentle smile. Magenta fixes its eyes on you, makes a final snort, still ready to run away if you turn out to be a monster in disguise. I'm not a monster in disguise, Magenta! Come on. Oil? Lower his head. Gesture for it to follow the movement of your hand. Encouraging with a warm voice. After you step closer, it flinches, doesn't move away. Okay. Maybe the oil. You open the flask and move it near Magento's nose. Magento takes a few deep breaths. Hundreds of flowers were used to fill this little vessel. It was a good purchase. The mouse shakes its head and nickers. Okay. Pet its head. Reach out to it with an open hand. Stand still, allowing you to touch it with the nostrils, then step closer. You rub its skin, still speaking to it. It's okay, Magenta. You're fine. You're fine. We're both fine. Give it time to look around. You step away, allowing Magenta to get familiar with the surroundings, and lowers its head, observing the hole that tramped its hoof. A heavy animal has made a hole, pressing the sodden wood in, without really breaking the log. After a few minutes, your palfrey seems to be more curious than afraid. Phew. Speaking some nonsense, I get back in the saddle. Magenta keeps its head low, its ears are slightly pricked forward, tail loose. Flinches after you grab the saddle, so you give it a time to take a deep breath. Soon you're ready for the further journey. You pat your palfrey's neck. Okay. Phew. Move right forward. That was an event. Near the same part of the forest where you encounter the corpse-eating beast. The rocky hills are green, with colorful flowers and the lively buzzing of insects. You seek any threats hidden in the tall grass. You notice a single soul standing on a distant rock ledge and call you with a gesture. Huh? Someone's here? A bandit? Stop my horse, whom do I see? If they are a bandit, we're looking for them anyway. It's a man in an unlaced black gambeson, covering a simple cloth shirt. He has the short, dark hair of a laborer. Neither tall nor short. You see no weapons. He's standing near the entrance to a cave and keeps looking around. Even once he looks back at you, he gestures no more, just waits. Helping out lost traveler is part of a Roadwarden's job. This man leading Magenta up the hill. Yeah, I don't have much of a choice, do I? It nickers, happy to rest in lush grass. After you reach the crag, the man is crouching at its edge, observing your surroundings. His clean-shaved face tells you of sadness, but also acceptance. His elbows are resting on his knees, hands clenched together. The gentle wind brings you the smell of soap. Can't be older than 30. Observing it clean, not really taking any risks. Take a deep breath and observing the meadow and the trees. No. Doesn't hurt to be cautious. Man frowns at your stare, but doesn't return it. He has a symmetrical, handsome face, healthily tanned skin, free of scars or blotches, the blue eyes of a sage, and a muscular figure. Of Loveland, he would be a perfect recruit for a group of actors. He'd play an emperor, or a hero from Wright's tablets, or a commander, or an evil rich merchant. Finally he scoffs. I've seen you before, I did. His words are close to a whisper. To your left, there's indeed a good view of the lone tree. Go riding for that furless wolf like you had runs in your ass. A monstrosity, right? It tastes like a fist of worms. He pauses. The man speaks slowly. Oh, you ate it? His voice is thoughtful, contemptuous, and a bit taunting. Don't worry about the corpse. I torched it soon after you left. The wolf hadn't left much meat. Maybe next time we could try helping the stranger in need instead of just watching. Let's not aggravate the guy. What are you doing here? Planning mostly. Catching birds. Resting. Beasts have nothing to look for in this cave. It's small. Stone shifts to a more casual one. Right. Yeah, I'm a stranger. You know of a place where I could spend a few nights? He straightens up and for the first time looks you in the eyes. I know of one. Care to introduce yourself? Yeah, I do know of one. I'm all ears, he leans forward. Let's think about it. Yeah, tell me who you are first. Yeah, can't you just stay in one of the villages? Smiles. I need some time without the gossip noise. Care to introduce yourself? He chuckles. I ain't sure to do such a thing, not sure at all. I want to pick a new name first, something that goes well with my eyes. New name. You running from something? Ain't we all, stranger? Looks around. Mostly wolves and dragonlings. It's a dangerous place, these woods. Do you have any tips on how to stay alive here? If you take on looking at a corpse the one Furless was feasting on? I wonder who that was. Well, I may know a little something about them, he smirks. Help me find a new shelter. Maybe I'll tell you a thing or two about what I saw. Okay. Yeah, alright, fine. I know of a shelter where you could stay. Go east, turn north of the crossroads, you'll reach a wooden cabin. How about the chapel in the south? It's a solid dolmen. Loggy Lake is a safe tavern. Pelton and Normandy's well protected. Sound like you're from Gale Rocks. Why don't you stay there? I didn't answer you at first. I'm looking at you keenly. No. Can't stay at Gale Rocks. In connection to the bandits. Loggy Lake is safe. Pelton North is more well protected if you're trying to get away from wildlife. Tilts his head and looks away, considering your suggestion. Right, but I have no coins almost. I asked someone to be too happy to speak with me. I need something else for a little while. No coins, huh? The chapel in the south, it's a solid dolmen. I've been there before. It had a door, I think. Sometime in the past. Not anymore. It's too close to the ground. Even this cave is better. Points behind him with a thumb. Okay, fine. Go east, turn north on the crossroads. You'll reach a wooden cabin. Probably talking about this one. But is it safe? Last time I was there, the entrance was closed, it was. Large Sparta was inside, but I took care of it. Still better be careful. Smirk turns to a bright smile. Cheers, stranger. Look for me there in a day or so. I'll have something to say that you'll want to hear. Alright, fine. Guess it's time for me to leave. Right. He eagerly nods. But keep our meeting between the two of us, won't you? There are those who like to hunt down lonely drifters and take every scrap of silver they have. I don't need any of that. Cheers, stranger. You have silver? As you walk away, you're more than sure that he's observing each step of yours. Alright, that was weird. Don't even know your name. I'm not supposed to tell anyone about anything. We might have to go downhill and continue our journey. Leave the dark woods behind. On top of a nearby hill, you spot a four-legged dragon chewing on tree leaves. It completely ignores you, and as you observe its long neck, as thick as a trunk, you can't imagine a blade that would wound it. Now we're back here. Still need to get rid of that stupid spider. We still have time. Cairn in the middle of the forest. Rocky hills give way to meadows and tree roots. Saplings wake up beneath the remains of the burnt forest, competing with young grasses and ivies. At first, the nearby howls make you think of humans, not beasts. With numerous throats make you reach for an axe. The creatures, not even waist high, come out from the taller grasses, and the sparse brushes surround you quickly. Despite their wolf-like heads, their front paws would fit a monkey. Their furs are mostly brown and short, but carry scars left by all sorts of cute cuts and scratches. Almost every gnaw lacks a part of its shell, a limb, an ear, a nose, an eye. Some of them move on all fours and sit down on their rears, while others walk around on their hind legs alone, though with varying levels of confidence. You have the grace of a determined robber, many more resemble the harbor drunkards. Okay, while you may be able to take a few of them down, they surely bite into Magenta's legs. You won't keep both of you alive. You could follow one of the old tales, according to which the beast folk can be bribed with gifts of food. For now, the beasts are keeping their distance, baring their teeth between their grunts, sitting in the saddle. You are 4 times taller than them. You're smarter than people think. Throw them 1 coin. No, they probably have no use for coins. Maybe it has nothing to do with being smart, does it? Give them a few more fish, but I don't have any fish. They won't catch a palfrey. And to turn back, and ride around them to the rocky meadows. We'll get to the other side anytime soon. I do have extra food rations. Or packages scare away the nearest gnolls, but then the braver ones get closer, cautiously smelling and poking their new booty. Suddenly, they bite into the scraps of linen, revealing the fruits and scraps of meat. 3 of the largest beasts grab your gift, one with its jaws, 2 with their forelimbs, then run to the hills, followed by the rest of the loud, excited pack. If the stories are true, the gnolls should now spend some time away from the human eyes. Oh, so we survived that. Pat would get the sign, trying to calm its nerve with an encouraging tone. It's okay. They got what they wanted. At the edge of the pond, you spot a moldy, closed satchel hanging from one of the branches high above the trail, most likely taken there by an ape or a bird. Like other trees in this part of the forest, this one is ridiculously wide, covered with dark, scaly bark. It would take time to climb up the slippery lichens. Shoot down with my crossbow, I look for a long branch and push the satchel off the tree. I don't want to break anything inside the bag. It may take some time, but I tether my horse to a branch, then climb up to grab the bag. That's probably best. I don't think it'd be a trap. It's too high up. You gather the useful tools. Climbing up the trunk without wrapping your arms around it is difficult. After every 2 or 3 feet, you cut and tear away the slices of bark, making new steps. It gets easier after you reach the first branch strong enough to hold your weight. Secure yourself with the rope. Once you reach the back with the satchel, you pull yourself toward it, breaking minor twigs. You put the leather strap to raise the bag and unpin it. After a few long, tiring minutes, you get back on the ground. Okay, let's see what's in here. The foul smell hits your nostrils like a hammer. You ignore the old fruits coated with maggots and eggs, as well as the moldy shirt, but you kick away the small pouch. You cut it open, only to find 2 dragon bones. Well, wasn't anything worth breaking. I have the water skin to wash them. And move forward. Here we are. Lumberjack Hamlet. The spider hasn't moved an inch. Poke it with a stick? Yeah, let's see. Step slowly, picking up a long branch resting at the side of the trail. Once you trap the abdomen, you let out a relieved sigh. You observe the spider's dried out shell. It's a humid place you'd expect to rot. Oh, it's good. It's just dead. Magenta pulls the lead, beginning to turn around. Comfort with the sound of my voice. Don't worry, Magenta. It's not alive. Path is beaten, yet your mount has to step over branches, large rocks, and even animal bones. While the trees aren't pruned, they grow sparse enough for you to have a good view of your surroundings. A pile of rotting logs, the remains of food, and even a broken wagon rest at the feet of the crag. You look up, the palisade has a massive gap in it, which now serves as a vantage point for a person you can't see clearly. They're holding an arrow on their strung bow, and while they aren't aiming at you, they'd have enough time to shoot before you got off the saddle. You a horse? The masculine voice announces loudly, then stares at you. Thought a mad deer was running, I did. Almost shot it in the nose. Another pause. Who? I shout back. Leto, a Roadwarden. The archer crouches, as if watching you from 2 feet closer is going to make a difference. He shouts, but more so towards someone behind the wall. Wait, another Roadwarden? Are you all a family of suiciders or something? Head up, but I've got my eyes on you, I do. The hamlet could be a generation old. All the freshly beaten paths, spread trash, and newly fallen trees and gathered rocks make it clear that dwellers are still altering their surroundings. The woods around you are filled with wildlife, crowding in the trees, crowns, grasses, and trunks. A boar flees up the path, keeping its eyes on you as it runs. A dragonling is drinking from the pond you just rode by. There are a few people gathered at the gate, and more of them approach you from behind. You count 8 of them in total, but only 1 female face among them. All are younger than 40, weapons at their sides or in their hands. Simple flails, 2-handed axes on long hafts, maces, spears, throwing clubs, equipment so heavy and unwieldy that you can't be sure if it's meant to be threaten you or to get through the skin of nearby monsters if necessary. Are these the bandits? Some of those who came through the open gate have bare chests displaying their scars and bandages. The others are wearing heavy jackets and look nothing like pure farmers seeking shelter for a night. You reserve your mouth in silence, together with the curious rooks sitting on the top of the wall. Dismount smoothly and stand upright, then give everyone a threatening glance. And keep my open hands in the air. These are bandits. Be a good show of force. Some of the strangers avoid your eyes, while others accept the challenge. One of the men steps closer, offering to help you tie your beast to one of the palisade's loose beams. Another one clears his throat. Leave your blades here, right? He moves his shoulders, trying to take a more confident stance. Glacier's on her way. I knew it. Bandits. He adds matter-of-factly, as if a regular waiting for an alehouse keeper. Slowly you follow his commands, making sure to glance behind you from time to time. From afar, you hear the heavy footfalls of the person who joins you soon after. Massive winter boots are made of leather that still remembers the garnet dye of the past and have wide and firm heels. The bronze of the decorated buckles is polished without a hint of green. Her emerald eyes are running over your mounted equipment, reaching your face last and with little curiosity. She's broad-shouldered, with a muscular figure and round face. The long shining mail rests on a green akaton, making noise with every movement of her arms. Her right hand is tapping the hilt of a sickle sword, a broad blade meant for chopping not just flesh, but also twigs, sheathed at her side. The short dark hair of a fighter is carefully cut. Her skin is healthily tanned. It takes another few breaths for you to notice the other side of her appearance. While she's wider than anyone inside, she's more than a head shorter than you. You spot the gray strands of her hair and wrinkles cut by scars on her cheeks and lips. Her hand is missing a thumb, explaining why the blade is on her right side. And an old bruise surrounding her left eye hinders her from fully opening it, so it's difficult for you to match her gaze. She's acting tough. No, I know she's tough. Must be quite a fighter. A pal Frey this time. Her confident, powerful voice matches her straight posture. She reaches for the bottom of Magenta's neck, slowly allowing it to accept the touch after a moment of hesitation. It's more for running than combat, I believe. The Saurian was dangerous, but slowly, without much stamina. Look for a reason why she would lecture you about your own trade, then notice the curious eyes of her band, listening to every word. You're the first horse they've ever seen. Stranger? She looks at you again and steps back. I heard about your arrival to the peninsula, but didn't expect we'd see you at our doorstep. We don't have much to discuss. Tell me you ain't stupid enough to provoke my hand. I see no reason we can't have a friendly conversation. I smile. I'm starting to think you're not lumberjacks. I have a few questions for you. I don't provoke. I either cut or I don't. For now, let's have a talk. Trust me, I'm far from being a threat. Just let me ask you a few questions and I'll be on my way. Might be good to not just play our hands close to our chest, but to be intimidating. Right. I don't provoke. I either cut or I don't. For now, let's have a talk. Her smile is brief and marks her voice. We've things to talk about now. I'm all ears. Take a stroll with me. I ain't missing a chance to enjoy the rest of the summer. Tension of the group around you isn't as thick. As you follow the woman north, the others keep their distance. Guess I go north then. The neglected path leads to a pond, to the rocks sticking out of the ground, fallen branches, and the rotten deck covering a wide puddle. There are some signs of repairs made on the bridge for fishers. There are also some broken logs and a boat with a large hole in the hull. Glacia and two of her guards walk with you in silence, surrounded by the screeching beasts around and above you. She takes leisurely strides, and as you step onto the bridge, looking across the pond, you can see that the woods surround it from all sides, like the walls of a dungeon chamber, with green and gray saurians basking both on the banks and in the shallow water. The frogs, flies, and black birds shatter any guise of peace. The wood beneath you is slippery. Whenever the woman makes a sudden movement, you flinch, preparing your shell to push her away. Don't have any doubts, she speaks calmly, looking at a distance. I have little trust to offer you, and even less patience. It's better that we meet this way instead of on the road. She turns towards you, moves her hand behind her back. But if you have no good reason to talk to me, you can scat right away. This land needs no soldiers, Roadwarden, and chiefly no city folk. Use your knowledge to help people. I'm sure you know these woods well. How do I know if I have a good reason? You've been heard. Yeah, I don't think she cares about helping people. We'll see about that. I'll judge your deeds, not words. Without another word, she leads you back, then through the gate. The old rotting roof of the only building is starting to bend under its own weight, but its condition is only slightly worse than that of the area around it. The broken tools, soggy planks and logs, the broken fence of an animal pen, and the waist-high nettle leaves growing on every scrap of ground. It's not the beaten down by boots. The hamlet smells of putridity. The screeching of animals isn't as overwhelming here, but unlike in other settlements, there's hardly any labor to fill the emptiness. Bandits either follow you or sit around idly. There's firewood gathered by the wall, and you see someone eating a piece of cold roasted meat, but it seems like no one is eager to grab a hammer, a needle, or a carving knife. Lacey doesn't stop, making you follow her around the long shelter. She keeps her eyes straight ahead, not commenting on anything you walk by. At every step, her mail jangles slightly, breaking the silence. Your eyes either wander around or stare at the back of her head. You've made Eisen quite worried with your recent moves. Do you need any assistance? Like, now you're asking for assistance? If you tell me anything about the undead in the north, I found an abandoned car on the eastern trail. Oh, that's right. Maybe this will gain some of her trust. Hearing you reaching for something, she leaps away and turns around you rapidly, but seeing the trinket, she stands still with an open mouth. After a few heartbeats, she clears her throat and reaches toward you with an open forefinger palm. So it is, stranger, but I ain't one to keep around sentimental rubbish. Nods at her boots. Cheers, I guess. I'll toss it to her. Also, Rufino will make you a new one next time you get home. And she'll kick your teeth out. Hold the necklace a bit longer than necessary. Was at the western beach, looking for ways to broaden your trade. Oh, this might be a good way to lower her guard. She observes the necklace in silence and glances at the nettles as if it should find its rest with them. Finally, she puts it in a sack at her side, and her mouth is torn between a smile and remaining tight-lipped. I ain't sure I like it nosiness, she speaks slowly. I admit I like to see Rufina's kicks in those fancy talks of hers. Her steps seem a bit lighter than usual. Can you tell me about the undead in the north? I found an abandoned car on the eastern trail. Yeah. Well, let's talk about Asterion. I already know where he is, I think. But let's ease our way into the worries. She doesn't spare you a glance. So, there are some who are convinced the U.S. has something to do with his disappearance. She stops in place, and her heavy hand rests on your shoulder, pulling you down. You catch the weak scent of a myrtle, a flower that grows in warmer lands and is often delivered by ships to Vlavin. A bit like a sour fruit, a bit like mint. And who are those some? You notice the two of her front teeth are missing. No, it's better I'm not gonna sell them out like that. She waits for a few more breaths, piercing through you with her emerald eyes, then pushes you away and continues her walk. Let them talk. People will ascribe to me every misdeed or bad dream they have. but I have no Roadwarden in my stew. Yet. To do more for her. Well, have you heard anything about High Island then? Stop bothering me with this nonsense. Her response is as quick as a whip. I got a reason to guide you around. If you want me to help you find a stereo, I'll be useful. So you know that's where he is. Good to know. Found an abandoned car on the Eastern Trail. She keeps her pace, forcing you to stare at her hair. Steps outside of the gate, looking around. And you drop this arrow there. She freezes, then turns around too quickly for you to notice how it ends up in her hand. Her fingers are aching for the next few minutes. Cheers for returning it to me. She scowls at you and throws the arrow to one of her guards. I ain't going to explain myself to you. We needed tools and wares to sell, so we took them. The merchants are back in their homes with their skin untouched and togs on their backs. They knew the risk and took it. Oh yeah, they knew the risk, huh? And it's not that it went through the woods. You flinch when she reaches for your shoulder, but someone is already behind you, keeping you in her range. Her strong hand squeezes your flesh. Do we have a problem here? My throat, no problem, Glacia. I shake my head slowly. And showing the truth, that's all. Trying to shake her hand off me. Responsible for these roads, don't make me your enemy. I would try to withstand her gaze. Not gonna let her threaten me. She looks away for a few long breaths, then frowns, her healthy eye showing her surprise before glancing back at you. We said what we needed to. What else do you have for me? As she heads for the gate, her steps are heavier than usual. Why are you targeting white marshes? Why don't you? She turns her head, giving you an annoyed glance. What good is Roadwarden for if there are enemies of awoken shells right under their nose? You can't force an entire village to obey the laws of a faraway city. Put necromancer's rule to an end. I just need to find a way. They aren't hurting anyone, really. They aren't. Let me understand the situation better so I can do something about it. Yeah, if you want something to be done, help me do it. The brow over her healthy eye furrows with a frown. Are you that blind? The necromancers in our land, what else is there to tell? These spells have been forbidden since the days before the 10 cities, and the way the settlements are looking away their laziness. Tone's full disgust. The separation from all them rights written on our souls by the right. It lets the beast devour the last shreds of what we as humans deserve. She ambles forward without looking at you. I have nothing to gain from telling you some stories. Fight for what's right or fall with all the others. What's right? You have a way of talking. Midnight isn't quite worried with your recent moves. She slows down and two of you approach the old animal pen. Right now, it's inhabited only by rooks and worms. She leans against the soggy fence, which moans in protest. Her emerald eyes don't hide her surprise or perfectly imitate it. I suppose I shouldn't have expected Iance's boar eyes on me. But what does he want you to get from me exactly? To learn what you're trying to achieve? Plan a new attack as others? I see nothing surprising in an innkeeper who's worried about bandits, yeah. Her wide, mirthless grin, more akin to a scowl, makes you think of a dragonling. You would, if you knew the deeds that tie our pasts. Tell him this, stranger. Don't sweat. The right leads my blade and dreams against the necromancers of white marshes. Also, bad with Nybex. You speak of Ison as if you work together, but I didn't agree to let your band move into Pelt, am I wrong? Oh, that old quarrel? She blinks a few times with her wounded eyelid moving noticeably slower. I offered to him to join our forces some years back, but I'd almost forgot about it. Seeing your surprised look, she scoffs and confidently moves forward, increasing the pace. In your place, I'd consider where you put your trust, stranger. Well, right now, if it's between you and the innkeeper, sorry to say, but I'd rather put my trust in him. You may want to stay away from old Pago. It's been struggling with the plague. She glanced at you with her unmarked eyebrow raised, marking the difference between the size of her eyes and more jarring. You think I don't know what's happening in my land? I don't need your rumors. Well, do you know it's been solved? Well, since you're keeping an eye, no pun intended, on white marshes, can you tell me anything about the undead in the north? Armor clinks so loudly that a nearby rock flutters its wings, dashing to the wall. They are around. She meets her eyes, tapping the hilt of her sword. Why do you ask? They need to be dealt with, of course. Wonder if you see them as a threat. Seems like you do. No, the undead definitely need to be dealt with. But that's not something I'd like you to deal with. She stares at you, then nods vigorously and turns away, carrying on her walk. Got a clear eye? There's someone dead in the darkest thickets and caves, but they ain't anything more than a gentle rash on a shell filled with poison. White marshes with the dark arts and crazy warlocks are the real danger, and a part of our work is taking any bone we can get away from them. You ask her to say something more, and she slows down. They ain't measly using their own dead, outsider. They seek the shells in the woods. They scavenge for them like... She waves at one of the rooks, which opens its mouth in objection. Shame on the villagers that let them do so. May the right drown them all. Getting their undead from other villages? And they're letting them? Why? Okay, well, do you need anything? She stops in place and gestures at a soggy bench. Both of you sit down, but your eyes don't meet. Instead, you observe the dark birds that are pushing and pecking each other over old gruel spread among the nettles. And why would a Roadwarden want to help me? Oh, we all need friends, don't we? She takes a few heartbeats to respond. No, what I have is a family. She glances at the man who observes you from a distance. And I trust him more than I would any stranger. Didn't ask you to trust me more than them. She leans back and looks at the clouds. But you can do some small things for me, and not for free. One of my lads has abandoned his post and had taken something very valuable to me. He wants to start his life anew, so he won't use his name, but you'll recognize him. Speaks like someone from my village, he does. While her tone is sarcastic, her eyes remain serious. Young, strong, with a pretty face and blue eyes of a beaten club. Shaves often. The last hog he had on his back was our black gambeson, matching his short hair. But if he has any wits, he sold it somewhere already. She crosses one leg with the other. Her mail clinks so loudly that it makes you flinch. She reaches for her boot, adjusting it with her broad fingers. He doesn't want to be found, but he may need a Roadwarden's help. If so, merely tell me where he hides, and I will find him all right. She straightens up and raises to her feet, as if the conversation reaches a conclusion. Drop you a few coins for trouble. 4, maybe. I'll give you a handful of arrows for a crossbow. I don't need them, really. Hate to sell the guy out. I found a shell in the woods that matched the description you gave me. Mauled to death by beasts. No, I don't know him. What do you take from you? A small supply of black powder I was saving for a special occasion. For one thing, I'd be ready to forgive him, but betraying my trust and taking our secrets outside is beyond excuses. Why do you leave your band? She thinks about it for a few heartbeats. He's weak, she states. But after seeing your frown, she puts her hand behind her back. He joined us not that long ago. Didn't have any drive, was merely bored with his old life. What was good enough with his knives to impress me. Turns out he wasn't ready for the change he took upon himself. And he left before he paid his debt to me. What debt is that? What will you do once you find him? She frowns, staring in her healthy eyes as if too obvious to be worthy of an answer. What he deserves. If nothing to gain in all this, you just let him walk away. Well, I found him in a cave not so far away from here. We'll soon leave to the cabin on East Path. I'm not telling her that. Any tips on where to start? If I knew how to answer that, I've gone after him already. He was cautious, left our hunting group to take a leak, then snuck away. The band assumed he got caught by a camp, but I told him to search our supplies. I doubt he took them for a walk, alright. Alright, I'll tell you once I learn anything. You walk forward, listen to Glicia's heavy boots and jangling mail. Okay, well, I'd like to learn more about you. Person I'm helping. She stops, smirking as she rubs a large nettle leaf between her fingers. Are there no bards who would sing you to sleep? There ain't much store in me to share. As a young lass, I was taught to sue for food and planned to start a family with a kind cobbler. Her voice weakens. She looks down her boots. I had to leave my family, but I accepted it. On my way to the wedding, them awoken shells took my closest friend, my face, and the hand I worked with. But I accepted it. The right gave me no kids, but I accepted it. She then runs her eyes over the nearby guards, raising her voice almost to a shout. But after them monsters hit my home and shattered everything I'd built or loved, I would not accept it. With or without the right, I'll make those butchers pay. Her wounded eye, far from being free of the pain in that scene, looks at you with determination. I've been here for 10 years now, and I'll be here as long as it takes. By myself, if I must. Tapping the hilt of her sword, she moved forward. Is this that steep house? Is that where your husband was? Foggy mentioned some dark days pushed you into becoming a bandit. More of them than you can count. Did you think people leave their warm homes to pick easy coins? We have survivors from the long-gone village of Steep House, a lad forced into marriage by some pricks with long beards, a cooper whose daughter poisoned herself with a daffodil pie, a hunter whose home was lost to a fire, a shepherd who took an oath to clean these woods of wolves, a hungry thief who chose to run away instead of losing their arm. The guards are now more numerous. Some of them look down, casting you shameful glances, while others meet your eyes, keeping their backs straight. We were all wrong by this land. Glacier carries on as her steps grow springy. Her mail becomes annoyingly loud. And our work will give us our pride back. Work, huh? Just spending a few days on the roads, I'm surprised your band didn't get mauled to death yet. She looks at a man who's missing an eye. We've been mocked in many ways. He starts carefully. And we've burned our share of shells. Not all of us were here for the beginning, you see. After you ask her for any tips on how to survive on the road, she shrugs, then moves her hands behind her back, still turned away from you. Not for a rider, I don't. When moving in strong groups, smaller monsters stray away. And you can't fight the packs numerous enough to attack us. Her voice is long. Pauses long enough that you consider changing the topic, but she then carries on. What you need to learn is that there ain't anything free in the woods. A lost bone, rotten apple, shiny pebble, a cave. Everything will be eaten or taken away. And if it's laying there all by itself, you better wonder why. I'll tell that to the dragon coins I just found. And why don't you try to secure these roads? Why would they need a Roadwarden? She kicks away a small rock, one of the many you step upon. The roads are fine as they are. You ask her for any thoughts on how people see them as dangerous, too much so for maintaining any trade, but she chuckles in response. Some of them will do better by never leaving their homes. If you were even robbing on these roads. You don't understand our path, stranger? Her voice is harsh, but carries no grudge. Yes, we took a few things from the settlements and forced some merchants to pay us for escorting them, she says with amusement. But we ain't some bloodthirsty robbers. We cut our own firewood, hunt to fill our bellies, trade if we need to. You'd be surprised. She turns around and takes a few steps backward, gazing into your eyes. How little work one needs when you have strong arms, no taxes, and no young old mouse to feed. Glance at the massive hole in the southern part of the wall. Her lips tighten. She turns away again. We won't stay in this place for much longer. Wait, what do you mean by that? It's gonna be about the trapdoor from the dolmen. Well, you were there when Steep House fell, weren't you? She stops and turns around. When she places a hand on her side, the mail clinks. I saw it all right. Dice's threats, the tortures and bows of her people. The, the bows of a people, the druids in clean robes with curses on their tongues. I heard the others had logs to our broken wall, but when the herds got in through the breach, all I could do was run, so I did. Closed her eyes, but her wounded hand instantly moves to the scabbard of her blade, just in case. I still remember two young men, no boys, fighting each other by the flames of my house, and a head hidden in the tree. My husband, screaming from pain in our bed, poisoned by the well, not knowing he would never fall asleep nor wake up, and a werebear grasping my friend and tearing her shell in half. I, and a few others, carry it all. Her absent eyes glance at one of her guards, a man with a face eaten by fire. And we'll never forget. I'm not asking you to. I know Thias was angry about the thing with the Covenant, but why were the people of Howlers willing to do all this? They would say we were asking for it. I spent not even 15 years in Steep House, but I saw my share of quarrels between the two villages. Did you know they were both from the same tribe? It's true, she emphasizes, even though her eyes are focused on the roaming rooks. She must have told the story many times already. Howlers started a fishing hamlet at the stream bank, and it's routed into a new village. In a few generations, Steep House grew strong enough to prosper without Howler's help, decided to cut ties. We pretty much paid taxes, you see, and got little in return. Chiefly since we were placed closer to the hill pass, and many traders turned around soon after they entered our gates. And my neighbors had riches, all right, good food and pretty homes. She pauses, you're not sure if their words make her at all proud. Respected their land, woods, and stream. The only greed we faced was that brought us to with violence. Her furious eyes look away, and she strides forward. Well, I'm with you on hating Thias, that's for sure. You're lucky that a soldier from Havlavin took care of the band dwelling in Hag Hills. She walks without a word for a good few heartbeats. 3 rocks are searching for food in the grass, ignoring her heavy steps and mail, yet trotting away once you approach them. I had different opinions on the range of their territory. She looks at her guards with pride. They had enough muscle to become a threat, but were careless, and had no purpose, merely hunger. We were around long before them. They're gone, but we remain. Such is right's will for us. Before she resumes her stroll, she meets her eyes and nods slowly. Right. We were lucky. Say hi to Tulia from me. I'll see you soon. She responds to her own frown with a smirk and turns away. What do you mean by that? Tell about the secret trapdoor from the dolmen. We wander behind her under the keen eyes of the other members of her band. Their harsh looks can't hide their unrest. Giving them yet another hideout could save their lives during difficult journeys, but they could just as well use it to practice their trade, so to speak. Maybe I can't stop them on my own, but I won't aid them. Tell her everything, her trust is worth it. It might be. I'll think on it. I'll go now. You head back to Magenta. Some of the highwaymen observe you from a distance, but are busy with their own chores and chatter. Ask someone for a spot where I can spend the night. Maybe they'd let me. The woman you ask gives you a puzzled look. There's a tavern on Nolan Road and a few villages in the west. But explain what you mean, and the man without an ear laughs, then speaks with a different accent. There's a chance. That warden cuts my throat this night nor any other. Alright. Head to the pond. Man with the bare chest gets in your way. Where do you think you're going? We ain't no spies around here. We aren't going to keep your ugly mug safe from monsters. Buy yourself a tub and an inn. Alright, fine. Guess I'll go back to the cairn. Assholes.